Alright, what is up everyone? In this video, we're going to take a look at Yae Miko. First, let me tell you how I built my Yae Miko. She has 1800 attack, 35 EM, she has 77% critical rate with 251% critical damage, 125% energy recharge. This 20% is coming from the Fate set. Here's 46% electro damage bonus. Weapon, I'm using Kagura's Verity R1. 4-piece Fate set so that we can get maybe like more than 20%, 30% bonus damage on her Q. And she's C0. And let me talk to you about talents. So her E, it's basically like an electro turret. You can make up to 3, and then when you connect all 3, they get the maximum levels. So here's the multiplier at level 6. Duration is 14 seconds and cooldown is 4 seconds. When you make the turret, it gives you electro particles here and there, allowing her to act like Fischl. And here is her Q. What it does is, when she casts her Q, you do one big strike, which is this skill damage, and after that, every Seishou Sakura you break, you trigger Tenko Thunderbolt. So this can happen up to 3 times. Cooldown is 22 seconds, which is pretty long, and energy cost is 90. So this kind of compensates the high energy cost she has, and I'm assuming that if you build a team with another Electro, then this is gonna be okay. And that problem also gets solved by getting C1, which gives you 8 elemental energy. Each Seishou Sakura gets broken, you know? So you can get up to 24. That can lower this energy cost from 90. That lowers this energy cost to 66 by getting her C1. Is it worth it? We'll have to see. Let's move on to her passive. This, when casting her Q, each Seishou Sakura destroyed resets the cooldown for 1 charge of the Seishou Sakura. So you would preferably want to have 3 E's out in the field, use Q, break all that, do all those Tenko Thunderbolt 3 times, and then use E 3 times to have that 3 turrets out in the field again. And here's the last passive. Every point of elemental mastery Yae Miko possesses will increase Seishou Sakura damage by 0.15%. So this kind of made me think like maybe it would be good for me to give her elemental mastery sands. But when we talk about raw damage, right? So if you compare Yae Miko just by herself in a team, if I give her attack percentage sands, I do more damage with my Seishou Sakura versus when I use Elemental Mastery with the sands. So it will be a little different when it comes to team building. Like for example, let's say you have Kazuha C2, which would give you 200 EM when you use your Q. You know, when you're within that Kazuha's Q, you get 200 EM. And moreover, Freedom Sword can also give her 40% attack. And there are characters like Diona. At C6, she also gives 200 EM. There's Sucrose that gives you EM as well. And so on. If you have constellations, you can kind of give EM to Yae Miko, which allows you to do more damage with your turrets. So what we're gonna try out is, I'm gonna try and see which team gives Yae Miko the most damage for her turret. So right now in this team, I am using Kazuha. Freedom Sword, R5, which gives 40% attack. At R1 it gives 20%, but this one gives you 40%. I'm using VV set, so he can throw off Electro. Constellation C2 for 200 EM. And I'm using Kujosara C6 for 60% extra crit damage for Electro damage. Skyward Harp so that we give the maximum attack bonus. And there's also Bennett that gives 119% bonus attack. And I'm using Mist Splitter. For the artifacts, I'm using Noblesse, so that also gives another 20% attack. So we're just like buffing Yae Miko to the max. I believe if I take out Kujosara and put Fischl for more electro particles and give her like a elegy, then we can perhaps give more EM to Yae Miko, allowing her to do a lot of damage with her E's. So let's go ahead and take them to Azdaha. Look at this guy, he's so happy to see me, he's like stomping. Very nice. Okay, now E. We focus on E. Real E damage. $37K I see, right? 37K was max within Kazuha's Q, and 33K now. Alright, That is a reasonable damage at C0. And obviously, we were buffed to the max, okay? So, we will do this one more time with Fischl, okay? So, instead of having Kujo-Sara, I would like to use Fischl. And if Fischl works really well, then that's gonna be really good because Fischl is gonna be using her E out, and that's gonna be like double battery, you know? I'm gonna be using Elegy. And of course, this would be a little biased, okay? We are gonna give 200 Elemental Mastery to Yae Miko and 40% attack. I'm hoping this is gonna be good for her. So, bigger damage we see on Yae Miko is gonna be that damage, her turret damage. I'm thinking that if we do actually get more constellations on Yae Miko and give her more levels on her skills, I suspect that Yae Miko is gonna be pretty good. Anyhow, because it is not Geo, unlike Albedo, I'm thinking Yae Miko has higher DPS potential than those Geo characters. $30k. 30k turret damage. Let me exclude this weapon so that we don't get this 40% attack buff. They don't stack anyways. We can use Jade Cutter. You know, it would have been better if I had like none of that. Fischl's gonna be using Stringless. And that's it. So Fischl doesn't do anything. And Kazuha, all he gives is about 200 EM. And then, since I'm losing 200 EM right here, I'm giving less electro damage bonus to Yae Miko. So if we kind of take out all that from Kazuha and Fischl, let's see how much damage we will be doing in a dungeon. And I do know that this is not the best team for Yae Miko, but what can I do, right? Whatever character I use to make the team with Yae Miko, people are gonna bitch and say, hey, those are C6 characters. So here it is for F2Ps. Oh my god. Was it 23k? Not much of a big difference when it comes to the weapons, right? Because we're talking about Elegy, which is 5-star, and Freedom Sworn. And also, I did lose EM, so you probably have to keep that in mind that we did have less electro damage bonus for Yae Miko from Kazuha for scrolling off. Alright, so let's take out Kagura's Verity. And of course, if you're using something like Solar Pearl, the burst damage-wise, the difference between Solar Pearl and Kagura's Verity, not so big. However, when it comes to her E damage, we should be able to see a huge difference. So we're going to reference our first team with our Kujo-Sara, okay? I'm gonna give Kazuha his weapon back, and we can compare that. If I use Solar Pearl instead of Verity, then we're gonna be getting critical rates. And I think I would like to exchange that critical rate circlet for critical damage so that we can see the maximum damage, right? Alright, so what is it gonna be? 81% crit rate with 217% critical damage. Let's go ahead and take a look at their E damage difference. There should be a notable difference. My E damage is 28k. 24k without Kazuha Q. So, as you can see, obviously your Q damage is gonna be very similar when you're using Solar Pearl versus her best-in-slot weapon, Verity. However, if you take a look at the passives here, it says that when you use your elemental skill 3 times, and then you get your elemental skill damage, which is what you need for Yae Miko. She has 3 stacks all the time. And then, this character will gain 12% all elemental damage bonus when they possess 3 stacks. What characters can stably keep 3 stacks all the time? Yae Miko. So I would like to say that this weapon, if you do get a refinement, her E damage will probably get so much better. So 36% from the skill damage bonus, and then 12% in elemental damage bonus. If you want to actually utilize Yae Miko a lot better, then I would say you would have to go for the weapon. If not, you can just kind of enjoy her Q damage, right? If you buff her to the max, she should be able to do more damage than your Geo characters here and there, you know? So, it is not necessary for you to get best in slot weapon, Verity. However, your E damage will be a lot weaker. The damage difference we saw was about like 16k difference, and that's pretty huge, I would say. About 30% difference. Now, for the finale of this video, what is Yae Miko's maximum DPS potential at C0? Take this with a grain of salt. Don't be so salty about how all my other characters are C6. This is for fun anyways. We have 77.9% crit rate, 251% critical damage, and we're gonna use food, okay? So that we can see what is her maximum damage, you know? We're to see some damage per screenshot video. 20% crit rate with 20% critical damage. Very nice. There is a Electro Potion. Ready to see some big PP damage? Alright, there you go. We have seen 100k with 132k each hit. My overall thoughts about Yae Miko is that she's a very interesting character. She's a solid character. It's just that if you don't build her properly, and if you don't build her team properly, her damage potential is going to be a lot less than what you think. And of course, my talent level is at level 6, okay? I always test out my characters at level 6, so she is going to be stronger if I level up her talents to probably... I'm thinking about crowning her, because I like her character design, and I honestly was waiting for her, and you know, this fox here, I want to touch it. I'm going to double crown her. I think the most important talents from her is that E and Q. I don't use a lot of normal attacks. I expected her to be a main DPS, but her normal attack multiplier kind of sucked for me, so I would probably just use E and Q, use her as a sub DPS, like a battery as well. I would probably have to explore for more realistic teams for Yae Miko, and I would probably have to mix Yae Miko with Raiden Shogun as well. And it feels like, except Shinha, a lot of the characters are coming out, and they're meant to be like paired up with another 5-star. That's a bad sign. And for that reason, I would have to say that Yae Miko is not the meta character, nor something you should chase after if you have a problem beating Spirit Abyss. What I can tell you about Yae Miko is that, first of all, she is really good against scattered mobs, and 2, she has really high damage potential. As we have seen, if we buff her enough, then she is able to produce a lot of damage. Some of you guys might think, hey, if you buff something that much, then who's not strong enough? Well, you know, catching. You're probably salty just because my Yae Miko is stronger than yours, but hey, just face it. I'm here to do the test for you, and you're not gonna get anywhere if you're just here to fucking shut me down like that with toxic comments. So, if you do have a suggestion for Yae Miko for the team comp, please let me know in the comment section. I'd probably try those out in the next video and let you know if they're really good or not. Thank you so much for watching this scuffed ass first impression video. And do you guys think Yae Miko is worth it? I think she is. Make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I'll see you guys next time. Adios.